The Expert Series is brought to you by Draw It Paint, the dry erase paint company that specializes in the highest quality of whiteboard walls available worldwide. Draw It Paint is constantly undergoing tests and procedures to ensure industry-leading, top-quality products with 3 selections to choose from. Recruit, Unique, and Limitless are guaranteed to suit all your dry erase paint needs.
Hey everyone, my name is Leo Young. I am a realtor with Olo Banker. I have been in Boston in this area for around 8 years, and originally I'm from Hong Kong.
How are you enjoying Boston compared to Hong Kong?
I like it a lot, to be honest. There's a lot of different things. The people here, the infrastructure. I enjoy Boston a lot more than Hong Kong in general. But of course, there are things that I enjoy in Hong Kong more than I enjoy here. It's a give and take.
Yeah, I'm assuming the food in Hong Kong is just top notch, eh?
Yeah, there's no comparison.
Yeah, that's what a lot of my friends say, because a couple of them have been to Hong Kong, and they're like, it's the best place in Asia, man.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Where are you from, Noel?
Well, I was born and raised here in Edmonton, but my parents are from the Philippines, so that's a little bit of a background on me. They moved here about 30 years ago, started the family, and yeah, we have lived here pretty much my whole life, so it's great.
That's great.
Yeah. Have you been to Canada yourself?
Have I been to what?
Canada yourself?
Yes, I was in Toronto last year. Good times. I went to Montreal a couple times. People are very friendly out in Canada. Try and enjoy.
Yeah, we try our best, I guess.
Yeah.
Why the move to Boston? Why did you pick that over anywhere else after leaving Hong Kong?
That's a great question. So initially when I came over here, I came on a family visa. So my uncle, he went to MIT and he settled down in this area. That's why I came here.
That's great. Do you think that's kind of long term now? I guess that you've been here for 8 years, or been there for 8 years. You think it's kind of a permanent place?
I wouldn't say anything is permanent in life, because change is the only constant. One big thing or one or two big things can happen in life that just totally turn your world upside down, for example. So if all things go smoothly, sure, I'd be open to staying here. If not, if there's a great opportunity elsewhere where something happens forcing me to move, then so be it.
Yeah, definitely. Now, one of the questions that I think you've seen kind of talks about how sport culture and pop culture have influenced so much of Boston, from movies to the Patriots, the Boston Bruins, the Red Sox, all that. How has that kind of influenced your own I guess worldview and your own background?
Sure. So something very unique about Bostonians, they're very smart, they're passionate and good-hearted people. In terms of sports, as you mentioned, everyone on board is rooting for the New England Patriots, Tom Brady, people like that, and just the general personality of people here sort of inspired me to be my best.
Definitely. I think it's a city that really rallies around one another, and it's very tight-knit in that sense, right?
For sure.
Now, does that make the real estate side, the work side, easier for you?
Absolutely, because in terms of just looking at the big picture, real estate is about helping people. And to help people, you have to know them. And Boston, to me, is like a big, small community, because it's very easy to get to know a lot of people, but also it's small enough that you don't get lost. It's not like a bigger city like New York City. There's just so many people there.
Absolutely. You kind of get lost almost when there's that many people around you, don't you think?
Exactly. Well, the one thing about the roads in Boston, though, they were built for horses, so it's pretty easy to get lost because there's just random name for roads. Instead of New York, it's like, oh, you're going on 5th Road or like 7th Ave. You know, here it's like, oh, you want to go on like to Massachusetts Avenue or something like that.
Definitely. Now, I went to New York last summer actually, just for a little trip with my friends, and we thought traffic here was bad in Edmonton. It's a whole nother world over there. Does Boston even compare to that, or?
Boston, it's not as bad as New York. So I've driven in New York as well one time, and I don't plan on doing it ever again if I can help it. Boston is a lot more manageable. Yeah.
That's a plus for anyone, right?
For sure.
Yeah. Now, before we delve too much into real estate here, I just wanted to, congratulate you on the Boston Half Marathon that you ran recently.
Yeah, thank you. It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
What kind of inspired you to do that? Have you been running like for a while now, or?
Not really. So what inspired me to do that was as I've grown up, I'm sort of revisiting a lot of things that I didn't like, in particular when I was a kid. So, for example, running was one of them. I never enjoyed it growing up. I enjoyed other sports. I enjoyed martial arts, badminton, things like that. But never running. Running is just what are you running towards, right? There's no point. It's not like you score points. So I never understood it. But recently, over the summer, I read a book by David Goggins. Have you heard of this guy? So he's this really tough Navy SEAL person that he just went through a lot of hardships, and he wrote a book on his life and sort of overcoming all these mental barriers and sort of doing things to do them, to show to his mind that he can do it. So running has never crossed my mind as something feasible. I think the longest I ran was 4 miles. But after reading the book, I was inspired to challenge myself physically, mentally, and running seemed like a fun, not fun, like a challenge, and the half marathon seemed challenging enough that I would need to bring my A game, but also not completely impossible. Seeing that I only was on a 12-week program, it would be exponentially tougher to train for 12 weeks and then run a full marathon. So I decided to start with a half.
That's a great goal to have. I mean, you're not overexerting yourself with the full Boston Marathon, which I'm pretty sure is very competitive to get into in the first place, isn't it?
I believe so, yes. There's qualification processes. You have to run at a certain time, which I do understand because it's not for everybody. They don't want people getting seriously injured that don't have the proper training, for example.
Absolutely. Do you think that's something you would want to work towards?
Absolutely. That's the next step. I'm going to go back to lifting weights for a little while, but I'm sure I'll come back to the marathon in the future.
Yeah. Now, after reading this book, and kind of wanting to face other challenges in life, can you maybe take us through some others besides running the half marathon?
That's a great question. So there were some other things like skydiving, for example. It's not something that will change you as a person. Well, it probably will change you as a person, but it's not something that you just go out and do, right? You have to sort of go out of your way to sign up for skydiving and sort of face that fear. I've heard from my friends who did skydiving in the past, and some of them were really afraid, and pretty much most of them said that afterwards you feel amazing. So that's definitely something that I want to try to do.
It's funny that you say skydiving because one of our previous interviewees, he's a real estate investor from Augusta in Georgia.
Sure.
And he actually shared a story about how he went skydiving, and it kind of served as a metaphor in life for him in a sense,
right.
That he wanted to overcome his fears. And now he does it every year, so he's almost become addicted to it. Yeah.
Exactly. there's a lot of things that when we grow up, we sort of interpret a certain way, but then again, the lens that we see growing up could completely be false. I mean, running is a good example. I have no reason to hate running.
One of the ongoing themes I think we've had through these interviews is these people wanting to really challenge themselves. These professionals that are either these doctors, real estate professionals such as yourself, teachers, that they have something that really pushes the boundary, and I think it really shapes who they are today. So it's great that you found something like that yourself.
Right, absolutely.
Now, to kind of delve into the second part of our interview process here is real estate specific. So can you tell us how you got into real estate in the first place?
Sure. So I was fortunate enough to have an early exposure to real estate because my family invests in properties. But what really got me into real estate in terms of becoming a realtor and helping people buy and sell homes is just the fact that I can impact someone's life in such a significant way, a significantly good way, of course. Because for most people, this is the biggest transaction in their life, and they need a professional to walk them through the process and make sure that they're doing the right things and expecting what to expect. And so that I appreciate and enjoy very much.